From the middle of absolutely nowhere, welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show, brought to you by Wiggle.
This week, the big story was the Tour of Flanders, so we talk you through just how it was won and lift the lid on Team Quickstep's secrets.
There's some huge news in the tech world as Shimano released a brand new group set, and we've got all the details.
Absolutely, and we also have all of our regulars as well.
This week in the world of cycling, we learnt that buying a bike can actually make you money. Not through racing it or through delivering post or somebody's dinner, but just by buying it and then reselling it. For example, this Colnago Futura Edition frame set originally sold for $12,000.
Bargain.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It is now listed on eBay at $110,000.
Whoa! Now, we also learned this week that Lance Armstrong appears to have an AK-47 in his kitchen, which does seem a bit odd, but then so too is having 5 sitting rooms. But nevertheless, it's going to be someone's cup of tea, and if it's yours, why not put an offer in? Because his mansion is up for sale for $7.5 million.
I think I might be outbid just there.
I'll buy a
this
frame
week,
instead, actually.
Yeah, this week we also learnt that Quickstep are the kings of the classics.
Hang on a minute. Did we learn that this week? There have been some clues, haven't there, over the years?
Yeah.
You'd have thought.
That is true. Yeah, they've won a lot over the years, but it reaffirmed it with Nicky Terpstro's win on Sunday at the Tour of Flanders, which makes it back-to-back wins for the team at this particular race. And not only that, they also had 2 riders on the podium, with Gilbert finishing in 3rd spot, and 3 riders inside the top 10. So how did they do it? How do they keep on doing it?
Well, I wonder whether in order to see how they won Flanders, we need to look at the bigger picture here, because that was not exactly an anomaly. This year alone, they've won Le Samyn, Nokere Koerse, they've won the Handzame Classic, they've won E3 Harelbeke, they've won Dwars Door West Vlaanderen, Dwars Door Vlaanderen, and now, of course, the Ronde van Vlaanderen. You know, I can imagine there's a whole load of people in Belgium applauding that pronunciation right there.
And the one day of the Panne. Didn't we miss one out?
And the one day of the Panne, yeah. So that's 8 wins, isn't it, this year, with 6 different riders. In fact, the only Belgian one-day race of note that they haven't won this year was Gent Wevelgem.
Yes, and I think that explains why Elia Viviani was distraught and crying his eyes out after the finish line. It wasn't because he was disappointed with his own result. He was just embarrassed not to finish it off after the teamwork.
It maybe only partly explains why he cried his eyes out on the finish line, but I know what you mean, yeah.
What makes this run of form, though, from the team even more impressive from my point of view is the fact that this year, of course, there's only 7-man teams at the one-day classics versus the 8 of previous years.
Well, yeah, not only that, but we've also got to take note of the riders that left Quickstep at the end of 2017. Tom Bonen, Classics legend, notably retired, but then also Matteo Trentin, always dangerous, ever present, and even Julien Vermont as well, perhaps never a threat at the end of races, but a big engine that they'll no doubt have missed at the beginning of races.
Very true. But also they lost somebody this year as well, didn't they? Fernando Gaviria.
True.
He crashed out and got injured, so he's missed the Spring Classics, but they don't really appear to have missed him much. So how, given all of that, are they still able to control these races and basically dominate them?
Well, we think it is down to 3 things. Tactics, numerical superiority in the finale, and also the lack of a team leader. Yes, that's right, the lack of a team leader, and you heard it here first. Maybe not.
Their tactics are following a similar pattern at the big one-day races, aren't they? So they're generally using 3 out of their 7 riders to control the early part, generally De Klerk, Kaiser and Seneschal. And then they've got 4 riders for the last part of the race who've got kind of a free role. 2 of whom have already won monuments in their career, Nicky Terpstra and Philippe Gilbert, and 2 that haven't but are on the cusp of it, particularly Zdenek Stybar, who's been second twice at Roubaix, but also Yves Lampaert, who's won a couple of smaller one-days and looks like he could threaten a monument fairly shortly.
Yeah, and it's a tactic they appear to pull off with astonishing regularity, isn't it? Even though everyone kind of knows what they're going to do. Once you've got those 4 riders in that final group of 20 or so, which, to be fair, in doing so is no mean feat, but then, you know, it's all to play for, isn't it? They've got the upper hand.
They have, especially when you consider that point in the race, the group of 20 riders, most of the other team leaders are either isolated or at best they might have 1 teammate left. So then it's essentially 4 against a load of 1s, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know what, I'm also wondering whether or not actually the fact that Boonen has retired this year is an advantage.
Yeah, quite possibly. Could be. In the past, we were generally looking at just Boonen and Cancellara as the big guns, weren't we? Now with BMC, you're only really looking at Greg van Avermaet. With Bora, it's obviously Peter Sagan. With EF Education First, it's Sepp van Mark.
Draftback presented by Cannondale.
That's the one. The list kind of goes on from that point of view, doesn't it? But with Quickstep, you really don't know who to watch.
Yeah, although actually you do know who to watch. It's just you watch them all disappearing off down the road because you can't mark them all, can you? Although on the other hand, actually, Boonen, to be fair to him, his presence enabled other riders from Quickstep to win as well, haven't you? You've got to say that Stein de Volder's 2 wins at Flanders are in a large part down to the fact that a lot of people were just watching Boonen at the time, and even Terpstra at Paris-Roubaix as well. Now, very strong riders, both of them, there is no doubt, but they weren't so strong that everyone was then marking them out of the race.
No, although we should also point out now as well that we're not taking anything away from Nicky Terpstra's amazing win from Sunday. He's more than proven his class and his form this year with solo wins at Samyn and also an incredible showing of strength at E3 Harelbeke. You have to have some serious form and endurance to pull these feats off, and when he dropped Nibali and went away from that elite group of riders, he really highlighted his form at the moment. But Quickstep just always seem to play their cards perfectly and better than anyone else.
Yeah. Now, as well as not wanting to diminish the responsibility of Terpstra himself, we also don't want to diminish the difficulty with which, you know, Quickstep management have to manage a roster stacked with 4 potential race winners. Like, managing egos is a difficult thing. We're told that, aren't we, on a regular basis. And so actually the fact that they managed that so well is very impressive too.
It is. I mean, their morale is high all the time at Quickstep, isn't it? It's almost so high, they should come up with some kind of cheesy nickname for their team as a whole.
Yeah, like the Wolfpack.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Now, I guess as well, Dan, there is something to be said for Quickstep putting all their eggs in one basket, aren't they? Because guys like Gilbert and Terpstra, they're not going to come cheap, are they? But Quickstep haven't ever really invested that heavily into trying to win Grand Tours, which I would imagine would suck huge volumes of budget out, paying for team leaders and then all the domestiques that winning a Grand Tour would require.
No, that is very true. And I guess that is a tactic in itself, albeit away from the race. Their strategy is to employ the best guys for the one-day races. Maybe that's why they're coming out best. Right then, does all this mean that they are odds-on favourites to now win Paris-Roubaix this coming Sunday? And if so, what do the other teams need to do in order to beat them?
You know what, the other teams just need to pay us to say that Quickstep are odds-on favourites to win Paris-Roubaix, then they haven't got a chance.
We'll predict a win for Quickstep.
No, jokes aside though, I do wonder whether Bora Hansgrohe should maybe give Os and Burkhardt a little bit more of a free roll. I mean, they are both super strong riders. Os in particular, always there, always dependable. And actually at last year's Paris-Roubaix, when he was running for BMC of course, he proved to be pretty pivotal for Greg van Avermaet when he was solo off the front, taking the pressure off Van Avermaet behind.
Yeah, I really would agree with you there actually. Os seems like somebody who could kind of do a Terpstra, clip off the front whilst everyone's looking at the rainbow bands of Peter Sagan and never look back.
Yeah, whilst that would therefore take the pressure off Peter Sagan, wouldn't it? He wouldn't have to attack himself, he could just follow the right moves. BMC can play the same cards, couldn't they? They've got Stefan Kung, they've got Jempe Drucker, and they've got Jürgen Roelants as well, all of whom could prove to be really good foils for Greg van Avermaet.
Well, there we go, sorted it. I wonder if any sports directors out there are watching this and suddenly realising where they've been going wrong over the start of 2018. And Quickstep aren't going to be very happy either because we've given all their secrets away.
No, good point. Yeah, it's always nice to speculate, isn't it? I'm sure many of you back at home as well will also have your own thoughts and ideas about how you could beat Team Quickstep. What would you do if you were in charge of Bora Hansgrohe, BMC or EF Education First Drapak presented by Cannondale?
Well, you'd start by shortening your team name, wouldn't you, with the latter, wouldn't you?
Probably would, yeah.
Just go full gas from the gun and try and hang on.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one idea. But if you've got some better ones, then make sure you get involved in the comments section down below. Just how are they going to beat Quickstep?
There's a good reason why we're sat here and not in a team car.
Yeah. It's not a very good reason why we're sat here at all, though, is it? Really?
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and we will begin by asking the question: should Peter Sagan be allowed to use this?
This bike, which formed part of a complete Sagan collection, launched by Specialized on the eve of Flanders, and that bike used by Sagan himself at the race. But should he be allowed to use it? I mean, surely that must contravene some kind of unwritten rule in cycling.
Well, it's a good question, Dan. Unfortunately, we will never know the answer because no one's actually written the rules down. yet. But we can theorise, actually, Sagan has not won an Olympic gold medal. Therefore, surely he doesn't deserve gold accents on his bike. I mean, imagine how poor Greg van Avermaet feels on his grey and slightly gold bike.
Probably the same way that Sagan would feel if Van Avermaet was riding around on a rainbow-coloured bike, I would imagine.
Yes.
That said, along with your rainbow jersey as world champion, you do receive a gold medal, don't you? So perhaps he should be allowed to ride around on that.
Well, maybe he should. Or maybe this comes back to last week's discussion about vanity, and actually we should stop worrying about this stuff altogether.
Good point. Shall we move on?
Oh, yeah.
To this from the Centre of Transportation Studies at the University of Minnesota, which has been investigating the phenomenon of safety in numbers for cyclists and pedestrians, specifically in the city of Minneapolis.
It is an incredibly detailed and comprehensive study, which we would suggest that you look at yourself, but if you're a bit pushed for time. In conclusion, it showed that if there was a 1% increase in the number of motor vehicles, then you would see an increase in probability of the risk of crashing by 0.14%, which would yield an increase in the number of crashes by 0.8%. Stay with us. If there is an increase of 1% bicycle traffic, meanwhile, that would increase the probability of crashes by just 0.09%, yielding an increase of just 0.5%.
Hence the safety in numbers part of the title in this study. The more cyclists there are on the road, the less chance you have of crashing in a particular area. Thanks to Cycling Science on Twitter for bringing that to light for us. We've got another study for you now, though, this time coming from the National Institute of Transportation and Communities, who recently surveyed 1,800 North Americans about their use of e-bikes.
Yep, and the good news coming out of this one is that e-bikes may well save the planet. That's right. So the main reason that people said they bought an e-bike was actually as car replacements. So one extra e-bike means one less car. So hopefully we'll be breathing in fewer fumes, but also factoring in that previous study, we've got less chance of crashes as well.
Yeah.
So bonus, win-wins all around there.
Once again, there's a whole lot more to that study than the conclusions we have just drawn. So again, go and take a look at that, because there are a load more reasons that are really interesting as to why people are buying e-bikes.
Less stats in that one and less mentions of parabolas.
Right, to conclude Cycling Shorts this week, we're kind of dipping back into last week's GCN show about vanity in cycling.
Oh, brilliant. Much more comfortable now.
Yeah, there are loads of uses for old inner tubes and tyres, but I've personally, never seen one fashioned into a skirt before.
Neither have I, but apparently it's now a thing. A lady called Laura Szabo has launched a sustainable fashion brand where, among other things, apart from skirts, you can also buy dog collars, dog leads,
guitar straps,
belts, and even flip-flops.
Yeah, which is thongs for those of you in Australia.
That's right, yeah. But to be fair, it's a really cool idea because apparently there are 1 billion tyres sent to rubbish dumps around the world every year.
1 billion tyres?
1 billion. Yeah, bonkers, isn't it?
That is
so,
staggering.
yeah, put a patch on that old inner tube. Do your bit. And then make it into a skirt.
Hello and welcome to the GCN Wiggle of Fortune, our show within a show where one lucky viewer is in with a chance of winning a very big prize.
Oh yes. Now, if you missed last week, let's give you a quick recap. To be in with a shout at playing the GCN Wiggle of Fortune, you need to enter our sweepstake the week before. Now, the link to it is in the description beneath this video. We then pluck one name completely at random, and that person then gets to take part in the GCN Wiggle of Fortune.
And the name that has been picked at random this week, the contestant is Sean Bolger of Australia. Don't worry, Sean, you don't have to do anything at all, really. I will push this button in a minute and then the wheel will stop at random.
That's right. Now, wherever the wheel stops, that is the prize you win. And you will win, okay? So up for grabs are 4 vouchers. Okay, now we're giving away vouchers so you can actually buy what you want. 4th place prize is £25. 3rd place, 50. 2nd place, 75.
And then the big prize is £150 of vouchers.
That's right, but that is not all. There is a 5th prize where unfortunately you don't get to actually get anything at home. Your prize is to watch Dan's face light up as he strolls over to the fridge and wins a beer. That's right, there's a beer icon.
Well, it's a rollover week this week, isn't it? I didn't win last week, so now there are 2 beers in the fridge. Actually, that's more than.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works like that, mate. You just went to Belgium and brought back a load of Claremont.
Well, I did, but it does work like that.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, right, let's crack on. Should we spin the wheel? Sean, are you ready?
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Spin the wheel! I'm so excited, mate. Spinning, spinning, spinning. Right, come on. Where are we going? Where are we going? Watch the beer, Dan. Watch the beer. Watch the beer. The beer's coming around.
It's almost on the beer.
Oh, that is close. Right, third prize. Second prize is going up. Is this going to be the big one? Is it going to be the big one? Is it going to be the big...
Oh, it
is. First prize, 150 quid. Congratulations, Sean.
Wow.
That is awesome. Right, we will be in touch and we will sort out getting you your voucher. If you fancy a chance of spinning that wheel, then make sure you search out the link in the description and enter that sweepstake. Sorry, mate.
I haven't seen Si that excited for a long time. My excitement waned after it went past the beer.
Yeah. Imagine how many beers are going to be in that fridge next week, Dan.
Well, there is that. Tech of the week now, and you want to start getting excited. This is a big one. The reason? There's a new Shimano 105 group set.
Oh, yes. Now, last year, remember, Shimano launched a new Ultegra edition, which actually, as we heard just the other day in Dan's video, is almost on a par with its more expensive Dura-Ace cousin in terms of performance. So it is going to be really interesting to see just how this new 105 group set shapes up. And first impressions are pretty good, aren't they? For a start, there's a new 105 level disc brake and shifters, which, very importantly, apparently share the same design in terms of ergonomics as the Ultegra ones.
Well, that would be very good news.
It'll be
wouldn't
super good news.
They
yeah.
certainly look the part of the shifters, as do the cranksets
yeah.
as well, which also share some fairly similar visual cues to their more expensive counterparts. The shifters themselves have had a complete internal redesign. So firstly, there is a shorter throw, which in turn means that the gear changes are quicker. And there's also a specific lever option for people with smaller hands.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? A welcome addition. Now, unfortunately, no word on the weights yet of the components, but in terms of weights, you only got to hold out until June, which is great news. Personally, I think I would go for the black option as opposed to the silver option. I think it looks absolutely mega, and I literally can't wait to get my hands on those new shifters for a start.
I'm going to hold fire on my preference until I get some more detailed pictures, I think. I'm sure we'll be able to find some on GCN Tech very soon, won't we?
I think we probably will.
Right, moving on. No doubt you will have seen last week, Matt and I took a first look at a new range of Bontrager Aeolus Triple X wheels. There are a total of 12 in the new range. We've got Triple X2s, Triple X4s and Triple X6s, and all of those are available in both disc brake and rim brake options, as well as clincher or tubular.
They've been busy, Bontrager, haven't they? The rim brake versions have a new lasered-on brake track that supposedly improves your braking performance. But perhaps the two biggest headline grabbers for me, firstly, are the weights. No, I'm not going to do that check again. And also, Bontrager are making some pretty impressive aerodynamics claims as well.
Yeah, no wait for the weights this time because we've got them coming up for you right now. So the Triple X6s, which are the deepest at 60mm, they come in at 1,530 grams in the clincher version. The 47mm deep Triple X4s, they come in at 1,400 grams. And then the shallowest, which are the Triple X2s at 28mm, they come in at a very feathery 1,305 grams, and you can actually shave a fair chunk off those weights if you opt for the tubular version of the rims.
Yeah, 150 grams, they say, isn't it? Which is incredibly light, really. Now, in terms of the aerodynamics, as well as posting some impressively low drag numbers in a straight line, Bontrager are also saying that the new rim profile design actually improves stability in crosswinds, meaning therefore that you could actually run a deeper wheel more of the time.
They do look slightly different, don't they, to the current crop of aero wheel sets with a slightly sharper rim profile.
Yeah, that took me by surprise, actually, when I first saw those.
Yeah. Now, the claims that they've got from the wind tunnel, it's almost impossible to feel when you're out on the open road, but no doubt Bontrager will have been very, very pleased with Team Trek Segafredo's Mads Pedersen, which I understand is how you pronounce it, who rode to a mightily impressive second place in his debut Tour of Flanders on Sunday.
You hope that's how you pronounce it, otherwise.
They might have been fooling me. We'll tell him it's Mads Pedersen.
Now, it turns out that there was more new tech on show at the Tour of Flanders this year, not just the Bontrager Triple X-like wheels, but despite being there, Dan, you didn't manage to spot this one,
I didn't see anything else there.
No, any reason why not?
No, I think it just wasn't in the right place at the right time.
No, okay, anyway. Well, fortunately, Shimano kindly let us know that they had a new Ultegra rear derailleur option, actually also on the Team Trek bikes at Flanders. So this has a new clutch system on there, okay, which has come directly over from their mountain bike technology, where it's called Shadow RD+.
Shadow technology.
Yeah,
this is basically a switch that makes the spring in the rear derailleur much stronger, which means that your chain doesn't bounce around as much, and it also increases chain retention as well. And it's available with both a mechanical option and also a Di2 option as well.
Yeah, you know what, with Shimano positioning their Ultegra group set as kind of like their ultimate do-it-all road racing / gravel riding thing, this is a really logical step, isn't it, to add in to that more off-road end of the spectrum. It's going to be interesting, I think, to see whether or not they're going to offer a one-buy option like they do on their mountain bike
Got to
group
be on
sets.
the cards, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. For all of the racing news, do make sure you check out our dedicated race news show, which is released on a Monday. But if you haven't seen that yet, let us fill you in on the big headlines. Most significantly, perhaps, the Women's Tour of Flanders, where Anna van der Breggen absolutely smashed it. She soloed from 27 kilometres out to win by over a minute over a very select chase group. The sprint for second was taken by her teammate, actually, Amy Peters, with Annemiek van Vleuten in third.
It does feel like Bulls Dolmans are kind of following the model of Quickstep that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
A stacked roster of talent with multiple options to use towards the end. Although, that said, Van der Breggen seems like the Bonin of the team, doesn't she? She's incredible.
Yeah, well, the Bonin plus the Cancellara rolled in together with a bit of Marianne Vos. Yeah, fantastic to see.
Right, another big and exciting announcement for you now, this time coming from Bellon. There will be another new Hammer event this year on the 14th of October in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah. Now this one differs from the other Hammer event because this is going to be a 1 day as opposed to a 3 day, and the exact format of the race is still to be announced because, as you remember, the Hammer series kind of differs from conventional racing in that it's done on a points-based structure, but they say that the exact details will be released soon.
Right, we should also mention the Tour of the Basque Country, which kicked off just after we released this week's racing news show. Do you want to guess who won the first day, Si?
Go on then. Valverde.
No, he's not in it.
No, I know that. Yeah, Nibali.
No, he is in it, but he'd finished the Tour of Flanders the previous day, so might have been slightly fatigued.
Yeah, that was worth a shout out though, because Nibali's definitely one of my favourite riders at the moment. No, anyway, I think it was someone from Quickstep.
Spot on.
There we go.
Yes, Julian Alaphilippe went with an acceleration from Primoz Roglic on the last climb of 8 kilometres to go. They dropped Nairo Quintana, no less, and came into the finish together, where Alaphilippe out-sprinted his companion on the day. And that made it 22 wins for Quickstep from 10 different riders so far in 2018.
Absolute bonkers. We really do need your crowdsourcing ideas in the conversation about how other teams can match Quickstep, because that is just quite a strike rate, isn't it?
Right, we should also mention that we've got an exciting giveaway for
Oh,
you.
that's right, yeah. So, sticking with the Basque Country for a moment, one of our partners here at GCN, Orbea, that's their home race, and so to celebrate, they are giving away a bike, a whole bike.
Not just a bike as well, it's a
No.
really top-end one. So it's an Orbea Orca M20 Team D with the option of a Mayo custom paint job. For all the details on how you enter to win this bike, you can look at the link in the description below. But don't hold on too long, because we will be announcing the winner this time next week.
Oh yeah, and if you can, I strongly suggest that you watch some of that Tour of the Basque Country this week. Not only is it a great race, but it also really gives you a flavour of why that Orbea rides the way it does. It's an incredibly beautiful area, great cycling roads, and it's also very hilly, isn't it?
Yeah. Hack / bodge of the week now. Don't forget, if you've got any hacks or bodges that you would like to share with us, just use social media and use the hashtag GCNHack.
Yep, this first one, to get us started, is an absolute belter, sent in by George Duffy. He said, when your floor pump can't quite get enough air into your tubeless tyres fast enough to get them reseated, time to get creative and check it out. I would never have thought that, but effectively gaffer taping
And zip tied by the looks of it.
and zip tied the seal between the rim and the tyre, and he said it worked a treat. So there we go, that is a genuine grade A hack to get us started.
Yeah.
If you've got tubeless tyres, sometimes you will know the pain of trying to get them seated and you just can't do it. So there we go, try George's gaffer tape trick.
Even though that looks like it took quite a lot of time, it probably still saved in time, didn't it?
Yeah, probably quicker than a trip down to your local garage to use their air compressor.
Right, first bodge of the week now, from John Schlack. Suspension shock fitted to a hardtail, fat tyre and a serious amount of springs underneath the Brooks saddle.
Yeah, I genuinely was looking at this going, I don't know why there's a shock there, because there's not a single pivot on that frame.
No.
It's just for show.
It is literally, isn't it? When you look at the pivot at the top there, it's not pivoting
No,
anything.
and there's nothing at the chainstay. So, genius.
Well, let's hope that there's lots of suspension underneath that Brooks saddle.
Yeah, what a grade A budge. Fantastic. Anyway, this from Steve Manning. He said that the child seat he ordered online didn't arrive in time for his holiday, so he made his own child seat. There we go, out of a Physique Arione Donna there, so a comfortable saddle for their child, and some nice pegs down there as well. I hope that the zip ties are on firmly, because, it's obviously carrying a child there, you don't really want to bodge that too much.
How many kids at that age get a Physique saddle though? Lucky boy or girl?
Oh yeah, good point actually, very good.
Next up, Yuri Saar has been training his upstroke in training, but finds that the sole is coming away from the upper parts of his shoes, and so he's bolted it together. I used to have the same thing actually. When I was a mountain biker, I used to bunny hop a lot, doing tricks around the car park and stuff, but I didn't do it properly. I used the clipless part of my pedal and just pulled up, and eventually the uppers would start coming away from the sole.
Well, there you go then. I'm not entirely sure why he's training the upstroke, or rather he's saying it's because it's handy when you get cramp or fatigue, but it's not necessarily going to be, improve your performance, I guess. But anyway, nevertheless, at least you fixed your shoes.
Solved the problem.
Sold. No problem. Anyway, right, now this next one, we've got to give a shout out to Tout Terrain on Instagram. I have a feeling this one might be an April Fool's joke, but nevertheless, it looks like it's fully functional. So they've combined a pinion gearbox with a Rollhoff hub, giving, they say, 168 gear combinations and 3,000% gear range. So you could pedal from 4.9 kilometers an hour to 124.1 kilometers an hour, all at 90 RPM. So there you go. I don't know quite why you'd need that, but fantastic nevertheless.
And you don't think that's real?
Well, I mean, it is real, but I did notice that they released it on April the 1st. So anyway, there we go.
Next up, this from Andy. Old cycling shoes, now painted and set to be new cycling shoes.
They look good, don't they?
Yeah, they do look good. They look far better than they did, and that's a pretty good job that you've done with the blue there.
Fantastic. Yeah, and there we go. Lastly, we've got this from Garland Kaler. He said the UCI have banned his position, so he's moved his shifter back onto an accessory bracket. But it looks quite funny, doesn't it?
Well, I thought that the UCI in their measurements only measured to just before the shifter, and that was why for many years, even when Di2 was available, the riders used the old mechanical shifters at the end because it gave them slightly more of a reach.
Maybe I thought you were right, mate, to be fair. But yeah, there we go. There's something kind of odd looking about that setup. But anyway, nevertheless, I'm glad you've got around your problem with the UCI.
Yep, thanks to all of you once again for sending them in over the last week. And don't forget, hashtag GCN Hack on social media.
Right, it's time now for our caption competition. That point of the show where we give you a photo and then you tell us your best caption and you leave it in the comment section down below where we can find it and then pick the very best of which will win a GCN Camelback water bottle. Okay, so this was the photo for last week. The subject of the show was vanity, so we thought we'd give you one of Mario Cipollini.
Right, the winner of the caption competition this week is Razor Dub 77, who put caption Chip and Dale. A play on Cipollini and the fact that he regularly used Cannondale bikes in his career, albeit not in that particular photo. Yeah, but still very clever.
We overlooked the fact that he's on a Specialized because we thought it was good value. Anyway,
make sure you get in touch with us on Facebook with your address so that we can get this out to you.
Good point. Now, this week's caption photo is this one, a very timely one from the Tour of Flanders. Dan, do you want to get your teeth into it?
Yes. A little champagne won't hurt my form or bank account. Just added an extra bit in there at the end. Leave your captions in the comment section just down below and see if you can do better than that.
Right, before we get on to what is coming up on the channel over the next week, we thought we would, as always, take a look back at some of the amazing comments you've been leaving under last week's videos. Now, particularly actually under the GCN show, we posed the question, are cyclists vain? Are we too vain for our own good? And there were some brilliant comments. This one from Beige Master 86 I particularly liked. Can you sing that one, Dan, or shall I?
No, you always like the opportunity to sing, don't you? So.
We're so vain, we probably think this video's about us.
Good effort, mate.
Thanks, mate.
If you ever want a comment read out on GCN, just put it in the form of lyrics and so I will sing it out to you.
Yeah, pretty much. And then this one from Russell, road cyclists are vain, it's part of the sport. Which is quite a good point, actually. I must say I put an awful lot more thought into what I wear when riding my bike than what I wear normally, which I don't know whether you've been able to tell that over the years, but there we go.
I think they probably have, Si. Meanwhile, under our comparison between Ultegra and Dura-Ace, we had this comment come in from Rob Chastain. I'm not believing it for a second, Dan, that a triathlete like Mark really rides a bike like that. Where are the wings and fins? And I don't see a top tube bag. Well, it is April the 1st, so somebody is bound to be fooled. Actually, wasn't a joke at all, was it? We just had to kind of clean up Mark's bike a little bit before we put it on a GCN video.
To be fair, yeah, Mark is no ordinary triathlete. He also wears socks, and good length ones at that as well. So yeah, no, Mark's a top lad, definitely. Not that you don't have to wear socks to be a top lad, but you know what I mean.
Yes, I think so, Si. Right, what's on the channel this week then? Well, the cobbled theme continues, and it's probably a good chance to remind you that our cobbled theme t-shirts are still on sale at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com. Anyway, it all kicks off again on Wednesday, where we're going to show you how to ride the cobbles. Worth watching, not least, because it's another chance to see Matt hit the deck.
Hey,
yes.
Brilliant.
Then on Thursday, we're going to have a look at tyre pressures over the cobbles using the brutal sector that is the Carrefour de l'Arbre. Amazing what the difference that makes. And on Friday, we've got Ask GC Anything for you. Yeah,
don't forget as well that previous one about tyre pressures, there is a Geek Edition as well, where we look a little bit more closely into the results over on the Tech channel. Now on Saturday, Dan and Matt suffered for this video. They rode the last 90 kilometres.
100, mate, 100.
You did 100 kilometres?
Yes.
Did you really? Wow. Dan and Matt rode 100 kilometres, the final 100 kilometres at Paris-Roubaix, and they talk us through it. So a great little in-depth preview there. Then on Sunday, we have a new edition of our Superbike series. So last time we pitched a cheap bike versus Superbike. A lot of you called in the comment section to see what would happen at different price points. So this is a mid-range bike, a £1,000/euro/dollar bike against our Superbike. How does it fare?
On Monday, you can catch up on everything that happened in Paris-Roubaix with the Racing News Show. Tuesday, we're back in the set. And on top of all of that, we're also going to have a Paris-Roubaix preview show for you at some point over the next couple of days.
We are getting towards the end of the show now, but there is still time, of course, for Extreme Corner. And this week we've got a video by Jeff Kendall-Weed, who is riding his new Ibis Ritmo in the mountains above LA, and I absolutely love this.
Well, that was just sort of extremely cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, I could watch that guy ride all day. Brilliant stuff. Love it.
Right, well that is the end of this week's GCN show. If you have enjoyed it, please click on the thumbs up button below the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can click on the globe, which you'll also see. And there's also a link to our shop there too.
Yep, and if you want to watch another video now, we talked about it very briefly. Dan's comparison of Ultegra with Dura-Ace. Make sure you check that one out if you haven't already. Just down there.
See you next week.